Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And today we would continue our class. Good afternoon, Eileen. I greet you specially. You're welcome to class. All right. And welcome to this session 2 of our digital and data literacy program today. Today we move into Excel fundamentals, a very important step in building your data confidence. Excel is one of the most powerful and widely used tools for data analysis, reporting, and decision making. And today's session will give us a strong foundation. And I'm also pleased to introduce a new facilitator for today's class. His name is Johnson Olomola. He's the head of the computer science department at a university in Southwest Nigeria. And he brings deep academic and practical experience in computing and data analysis. So we are excited to have Johnson in our midst today to guide us through this session. And before we proceed, please, I would like us to remember to kindly mute our microphones unless we are asked to speak or we have any important reason to do that due to GDPR and safeguarding policies. And do not share your personal information or details in the chat, please. If you have any question, you may drop them in the chat without including any personal information, and they will be addressed appropriately. Thank you for joining us. And once again, I would want us to take the GDPR policy very, very seriously. So we wait for our facilitator to join us, and I will be turning off my camera. Eileen, would you like to turn off your camera, please? All right, thank you. So I'll be turning off my camera now and ensure that everyone is on ground. So I will wait for the facilitator to join us, and so that we can start as quickly as possible.
All right, good day, everyone. My name is Johnson Olomola. I'll be your facilitator today. So it's nice to have everybody here, and I'm pleased to be your facilitator today. I'll be teaching you on Excel fundamentals. Without wasting much of our time, let me share my screen so that you can all have a glimpse of what I have here, so we can be on the same page. All right. Can you see my screen? I believe you can all see my screen now. Well, can you hear me very well?
Yes, audibly. Please continue.
All right. Thank you very much then. So, an introduction to Excel and data spreadsheets. You know, most of the time, we've all come across Excel packages. We've all come across Excel at a point in time in our life, and we see it to be something very serious, or something that we cannot really understand. But I'm here to tell you today that Excel is more like a tool that was developed for even a newbie, somebody that was just introduced to computing. It was introduced in such a way that you can actually understand everything. So Excel is used for statistical analysis. In our last class, the last facilitator explained what data is, the different types of data, how we can make use of it. So I'm practically here today to put you through the hands-on and let you understand different kind of data that we have. In the last class too, we've been introduced to the different kind of data that we have and how we can go about making use of those data to come up with insightful knowledge. So data, you have to understand that data is in our everyday life. In fact, everything we do in life, every activity we perform is filled with data. The time you wake up, we can call that data. The time you sleep, we can call that data. The time you pick up your phone, the time you eat, those factors are important in making insightful knowledge about the kind of person you are. So that is data. So, and you see, I want you to see Microsoft Excel. like an environment that keeps those data and help you turn it into a knowledge. So that is how Excel is. I don't want you to see it as something very complex, something very difficult to understand. So moving on, what is data? We can say in the simplest form that data is a collection of facts. Think of it as an unorganized way of putting information together. In this class that we have now, we have different kind of group of people in the class. The first set of people can be male, the other can be female, the other can be, they may not identify as both. So irrespective of what you identify as, that is called data. So putting everything together is called an unorganized data. What do you mean by an unorganized data? It's a process whereby everybody's data is put together in such a way that we cannot categorically say this is A, this is B, but everything is put together in a room. Just see it as this room now. This environment is putting all of us together in this room. Me as a facilitator, the facilitator that introduced me, we all have different categories, but a situation whereby every of our category is defined is called organized data. But a situation whereby it is not defined is called unorganized data. Like I have on my screen, I have 1452, which we both know that, which we all know that it is supposed to be 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But a situation whereby you just have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11 in a scattered way, that is an unorganized data. So data is everywhere. When you're going to the supermarket, you write out your shopping list, you put everything down. That is data. When you are going, maybe you are going out today, you check your weather forecast to see maybe it's going to rain or it's not going to rain. That is data. Your exam score, that is data. How you prepare your monthly salary, that is data. How you prepare your expenses, that is data. So the way you now make use of those data is what is now called information. When you make use of those data to decide your activities, or to decide whatsoever you do with it, is now called information. There are different types of data, but I'm not here to bore you with the theory and the technicalities, but it is just important for us to understand the integrity of all these things before we go into the theoretical part. I believe you all understand me and you are still with me. So moving on, we have different kind of data. We have the textual data, we have the numeric data, we have the time and date. What is the textual data? You ask yourself. A situation whereby I want to write down my name, Johnson Olomola, ABCD, it's filled with text, and I put in, okay, or I want to put in my address as number 2, and so. That is a textual data because it contains both text and letters. Letters and symbols. So that is a textual data. But a numeric data is only peculiar to numbers. When I say numbers, I mean 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till infinity, till whatever number you want to put it as. So those are numbers. And your number can be in different formats. Don't forget, we have 0.1, 0.2, that is still under numeric data. When you say 1, 1, 2, 3, that is under numeric data. And you can use this kind of data. Say, for example, you want to define the age of an individual. You want to tell us the quantity that the person bought. All those things. These numeric data are important in those kind of situations. Then the next type of data is the date. When you want to define your dates, say 22. Can you still see my screen? I'm using the, can you see the presentation screen I'm sharing? Okay.
Yeah, but it's still on the first slide.
Oh, let me share.
We're not seeing the slide, please.
Oh, let me reshare it then. I'm sorry. I thought you've been seeing it since.
And
Okay.
yeah, and the slide was stuck on just a page. Okay, all right. Yeah, we can see now.
You can see now. Okay. All right. All right. So I was explaining the texture data, the numeric data, and now I'm at the date and time. At least you were hearing me, so there's really no reason for me to go back to the texture and the numeric data. So this is the date and time is just the data in the date and time is to specify dates, time, and as it implies. Then moving on to the next slide. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Clearly.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It's good to know. So now, where does all this data come from? Everything. I want you to know that all the data that is used to perform or to make informed decision as regards us, we are actually the one, humans generally are actually the one providing the data. Take for instance, as I woke up this morning, I brushed my teeth, I took my phone, I posted on Instagram, I posted on Facebook. All these things I'm doing, I'm generating data for the algorithm to perform an activities. Your daily life, you provide data. Your business shopping, you provide data. Your public services, you provide data. Your online and digital activities, you provide data. So everything put together, we can call it our data source. And who are those people that provide this data? They are all humans. That is myself and yourself who provide all this data. So take for instance, I go to the shopping mall. There is anytime I enter the shopping mall, I'm always buying milk and sugar. So at least the shopping mall already understands that immediately they see me, I have higher possibility of buying sugar and milk. So they make sure that, okay, for my sake, there is always sugar and milk. And these are data that inform the supermarket to know the kind of item that they buy in their store. So we provide data in everything we do. How do we organize data, all this data that we've been saying? Take for instance, like now we already have different data. We have textual data, we have numeric data, but everything is just clustered together. How do we now organize this? Organization is very important because it will help you to better see the data and to be able to make informed decision based on those data. So that is where we introduce the spreadsheets. Take the spreadsheet more like your cabinet at work, your cabinet at home, where you arrange things, where you arrange your folders so that you can easily locate them. And when you locate them, you can make use of them for the purpose of what you want to use it for, then rearrange it back. So that is more like your spreadsheet. That is where we are tilting towards the Excel, the use of Excel, because we already have data, but we want to perform analysis on it so that we can make informed decision. That is where Excel comes in. So there is difference between the spreadsheet and the workbook. The spreadsheet now, I want you to see the spreadsheet like you got a note, you have a note or your jotter. Your jotter is like your workbook. The full combination of your jotter is your workbook. But each sheet of paper inside your jotter is called your spreadsheet. I want you to visualize it like that. I will not be coming from the aspect of computing. I don't want to talk to you from the aspect of computing so that it won't be as if I'm speaking a lot of computer jargons. But I want to be speaking from the aspect at which you can relate with. So I want you to see Excel workbook like your jotter that you have at home, like the one you're writing with. The full jotter is your workbook. Now, each sheet of paper inside of it is called your spreadsheet, where you perform activities. The sheet one, you can decide to put your name, your age, your date of birth, your hobby, things, your personal information. Then sheet two, you can decide to say, okay, the list of items you want to go and buy in grocery store, Sheet 3, like that, like that, like that, like that. So that's the difference between a workbook and a spreadsheet. And a spreadsheet is very powerful because it helps you store information. It's organized and filter for you. You can do a lot of activities on it. You can perform calculations on it, and so on and so on. So going forward, the industry standard for performing calculation is Microsoft Excel. So in Excel, we have the different building blocks. We have the row columns, which I'll be showing you when we go into the practical session. The building block of Excel contains the row, and in the row section, we have 1, 2, 3. In the column section, we have the ABC. The intersection of row and column is called the cell. When I say intersection, I mean the combination of row and column together is called the cells, which I will be showing you. So without wasting much of our time, I would not want us to keep talking on the theory, on the theory, on the theory. I want us to go straight ahead to the practical session, which I believe before this class, you've all had your Microsoft Excel properly set up on your computer. You have your biro and your book that we can use to, to perform these class activities. Can you see my screen? Can you see my Excel screen?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you very much. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to drop it in the comment, in the chat box at any point in time. I will attend to it immediately I'm done talking. I want this class, if you have any question as regards what I'm doing, or if you can't drop it there, you can just unmute yourself and say hello, then you can drop a question so that I can stop and attend to your question immediately. So this is our Excel sheet. But we did not just get here overnight. I mean, open this Excel overnight. Excel does not open itself overnight. There are steps you have to take before you open Excel. You have your computer powered on right now. There are two ways. I believe some of you can use Excel and some people are just starting out. So for the sake of this class, we'll take along people that are starting out, then we'll now join you that you've started using it before. Then all of us will now move to the advanced level together so that by the end of this class, I mean, by the end of this whole session, you'll be proficient. You will not just call yourself a beginner again, but by that time, you will call yourself an advanced user of Microsoft Excel. So Microsoft Excel, there are two ways of opening it on your computer. The first way, I call it the long process. The second way, I call it the shortcut. The shortcut on your computer, you press Window R. Window R is Window R. There is a button after, if you are using a Windows computer, after the function key, there is a button, the window button. You press it plus R. Then a dialog box comes up. A short dialog box comes up by the left-hand side of your computer. You type in Excel, Excel. Then you press enter. Immediately you press enter, Excel dashboard will open, just like this one that you are seeing on my screen right now.
We can't see it. You're sharing just the Excel window, not the entire screen.
Okay, let me share my entire screen then. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me share my entire screen. Okay. Okay, you can see my entire screen. So window R, you can see a dialog box came up. That is run. Can you see that? Then you type in Excel. Immediately you type in Excel, then you press the OK or the enter button. Okay, you see Excel has popped up. Easy peasy, very easy for you to do. And I believe you can do it. I believe you've even done it now. Then the next process is you click on you can see my cursor. You come here, you click on the start menu. Then based on the kind of windows you're using, but you can also search for Excel like this, Excel. Immediately you can click on Excel. Immediately you click on it, then it comes up. Those are the two ways at which you can open it now. By now, I believe some of you are doing very well. And I'm very proud of you if you've gotten it to this level. The next step is when you open Excel. Excel has a lot of interface. You can see. Don't be scared by everything you see. In fact, they look more like mathematics, but they are not mathematics. They are simple things that you can relate with. They are simple things you've been relating with before now. The interface. This whole thing you are seeing is called Excel interface. Excel interface, I want you to see it as something, it's that different tools that you can pick at any time to perform the operation you want to perform, like a plumbing tool that you can use to do anything in your closets. Maybe your tap is leaking and all. So see all these things as tools that you want to use and perform activities. We have the file. We have the file here. If you go up, you have the file. You have the home. You have the inserts. You have the page layout. You have the formulas. You have the data. You have the review. You have the view. So each of those pane, each of those interfaces has its own function based on the activity you want to perform. Take, for instance, I will explain the interfaces for you. The reason why it is important that I explain this interface for you is because I want to teach you how to make use of different tools. I want to introduce you to all the tools. So irrespective of what you want to do, maybe predictive analysis, maybe business analysis, anything that you want to do, you will know the right tool to use. You will not use a different tool. So I don't want you, for the sake of this class, I don't want it to be like whatsoever you learn in this class is what you can do. We want to teach you in such a way that after introducing you to it, you can apply it in different fields. So I believe you are all still with me, and I'm not too fast for you, neither am I too slow. I'm just trying to take it a step at a time. So going forward, in the file is primarily like every other Microsoft packages that we've been using. We have the save, we have the save as, we have the open, we have the close. The save is to save an existing document that you've saved. The save as is if you want to change the name of the file or the file type. Presently, the file type I will introduce you to is the Excel workbook. Let's just stay like that for this beginner's level, the Excel workbook. And don't forget, I already explained what the Excel workbook is to you the other time. Like it's like your diary, the full diary, and each sheet of paper inside of it is called the Excel worksheet. So now we have the open. Open is if you want to open a new Excel package. Maybe you've saved it before and you want to open it. Then the close is if you're closing it, but for this class, we are not closing this so that at least we can have something to do. So now in the home, we have different now I've gotten to data entry and formatting. In the home, we have the cut, we have the copy. The difference between the cut and the copy is cut, more like your scissors. You are cutting something, you are taking it permanently away from that location and putting it in a new location. The copy is you are trying to duplicate it, and the paste is to paste. We have the shortcut key too, the keyboard shortcuts. We have the bold, we have the italize, we have the underline. So now, say for instance, we want to put in the name of everybody in this SN, that's serial number, then say name, then and before I move forward, in this whole screen now, we have the ABC. You can see the ABCD. You know, I told you the other time that row ABCD column 1, 2, 3. We have it like that. And I said the intersection of A and 1 is the cell. So for each of these rectangle moving across the screen is called cell. And if you look at this place, it is identifying it D5. That is, so I can say for instance, I'm on cell H10. And how did I know that I'm here? That is H10. So the intersection of the two is this place. So in cell A1, now we've started speaking like a real data analyst. In cell A1, I have my serial number. In cell B1, I have my name. You can see B1. And in cell C1, I have, say, I have department, salary. Okay, I have department, then salary, then I have tax. Yeah, say I have tax. That is I've entered text. That is data entry. Data entry. And this kind of data is called what? Don't forget in our presentation slide, it's called textual data. It's called textual data because it contains text. And now we have one, we have two, that's a serial number. You know, Excel has some built-in logic that they use and identify, okay, is this what this person is trying to say? Is this what you're getting at? So the built-in logic is, it has seen in cell A2 that this is A2. Don't forget that you have one there. And in A3, it's understand that you put 2 there. So now, if you highlight the 2, how do I highlight? You ask yourself that question. You put your cursor on this. Immediately you put your cursor on cell A1, you press Shift on your keyboard, then you press the arrow button down. Let me repeat that again because I want you to understand this. There's one magic we want to do now. We want to do a magic and take it like I'm creating a magic. We want to create a magic. Your cursor, you click on your cursor here, you click on A2. We want to number 1 to 15. But in a situation whereby you have 1,000 users, will you start typing 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1,000? That will be too stressful for you. But Excel has this built-in logic that can automatically number for you. That is what we want to do now. That's the magic. Auto numbering magic. Let me put it like that. Auto magic numbering. Oh yes, it's just coming. I think I'm right with that. Okay, see me as your magician today. So moving forward, that's just a joke. So moving forward now, we have 1, 2. Now you press Shift on your keyboard after putting the rectangular box in A2. Then you press Shift. Then you press arrow button down on your keyboard. Immediately you press it, it will keep highlighting. But you press arrow button down to the last 2 that you have there. That's figure 2. And what kind of data is that? That's a numeric data because it contains number. Now you put your cursor, this cursor that is moving around, you bring it down. You can see it has changed to cross. It has changed to cross. You make sure it changes to cross. When it changes to cross, you hold down your left click, then you drag it down. You see, it is automatically numbering. You drag it down. You keep dragging it down to the number that you want. Then that's your auto numbering has been done. Can we do that on our keyboard now and see maybe we've gotten it? Let's try that. Let's try that. If you are able to get it, just put a thumbs up in the comment section. In the dialog box, put a comment section so that we can see. And facilitator, please help me to confirm that it comes up, is coming up there. If it is not, I can always repeat it so that we'll be very sure that everybody is on the same page. So the next thing is we've been able to, format to get auto numbering. Now we want to put in our name, Johnson Lalekon. Then the next one is John Michael. And I want us to know that these names are not anybody's name or real person's name. They are just names we are coming up with for the sake of this class alone. They are not real real life data. They are just for this class alone. Then the next one is Ellen Paul, and so on like that. Then let's say the departments, we have sales, we have marketing, and we have managerial. Or say we have cleaning. So for instance, this person is collecting £1,000 or $1,000, $2,000, and $4,000. Now, look at this data. If you look at it yourself, is it properly formatted? Can you make meaning out of this? No. Why? You ask yourself the question why. It's important to always ask yourself the question why. The reason is because looking at the salary, we just put 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. But salary is supposed to have currency. That is where formatting is important. We've been able to enter data. We've been able to put in everything we need, but we've not formatted it. So that means we've not put it in a way that people will understand. That is us now trying to make meaning out of this. But a situation whereby we also have, say, here we have male, we have female, we have male. This kind of data, if you are presented with it, this is called an unsupervised data or unorganized data. An unorganized data because under name, we have male, female, male, like it does not correlate. It does not fit in on that name. Somebody's name does not bear in male. It's just the sex at which they identify. So if you want to make this an organized data now, we have to create a column for, I'll still teach you how to create a column, but let's just take it a step at a time. For gender. Now we have gender here. We have male, we have female, we have male. So with that, we can now say we've been able to make it structured. Do you understand? So now we want to format it. How do we now format? We have the different kind of formatting. We have different kind of formatting now. We have currency formatting. We have number formatting. We have alignments. We have text formatting. Now, the first thing I'll teach you now is text formatting. Text what? Text formatting. Text formatting is making sure each of them appears very well. Now, we want to make sure this is bold. We have two different approach. In everything, in computing, there is always the long process and there's always the short process. The long process is, okay, how do I do it in such a way that I can explain to beginners? The short process is, how do I do it as an expert? So I'll teach you the both now because I believe at the end of this class, you'll be an expert. So the long process is you take your cursor, put it on it, like I explained the other time. You press shift on your keyboard, you press the forward arrow button on your keyboard. Then you come here, you can see my cursor, this B. You click on B. B means bold, like make it bolder. I means italize, bend it. U means underline. Do you understand? The shortcut is for B is Control B immediately after highlighting on your screen. What highlighting means is select this text. What highlighting means it can also be called selection. Select this text and perform this operation, bold operation on it. So immediately you press Control B on your keyboard. Control B is like bold, italize, and underline is a toggle button. What is a toggle button? Don't forget, when you want to put on your electricity, you on it, you off it. Is either it is on or it is off, but it cannot perform both operations at the same time. So that is more like so in computing, when you say toggle button means it's either on or it is off. So in computing, when you want to, after highlighting, you press Control B on your keyboard And if I press Control B again, it will not highlight it. So on, off, on, off, on, off. I hope you understand it now. So Control B, that is on. It is highlighted now. Don't forget where we are going and where we are coming from. Where we are coming from is data entry and formatting. Now we've entered data. We want to format it in such a way that people will understand. Anybody you give the data to, they will understand immediately they see it. We've been able to format it now. But there is something we've not finished here. And what is that? Look at name is in capital letter. Gender is not in capital letter. Department is in capital letter, like that. So what do? You come to gender. You can either put it, press capital letter, gender. That's capital letter. You've been able to, gender. Okay. I think that's better. So you can see that our text is getting better. It's getting better as we keep doing it. So for every data that you have, the first thing you have to make sure is you format the data in such a way that it is clean. So after that, we've been able to talk about text formatting. But say, for instance, you don't want to just make it bold alone. You want to italize it. You press Control I. The shortcut key is Control I. You can see it's like a toggle button to on and off. I, on, off, like that. So, or you come here, you press it here, you on it, or you off it, you on it. So, but we also want to make it underline. Like we want to make sure it is underlined. That is Control U, the shortcut key. You can see even coming to that U alone, it has given you Control U. Or it can also be on and off, Control U. If I press Control U, it is underlined. And how do you know it is underlined? You see, if I unmark it now, it is underlined. Do you understand? I believe you are doing it as I'm doing it, and it's not just me alone. It is not just me alone. You can see everything you are doing it. Are we on the same page?
Please continue.
Are we on the street? All right, thank you very much. So now everything is underlined. That is text formatting. Now, the salary. Somebody just gave you 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. You are in the UK. We don't do, the currency we do is pounds. We deal with pounds. But if somebody sees this and say, for instance, the person is in Nigeria, that they do Naira, how will they be able to differentiate? Or that person is in the US, that they deal with currency dollar, how would person be able to differentiate? So that is where formatting is important. So here, you come to the text, then you take your cursor to this place, you click on before the 1,000, then you put your pounds. You put your pounds, try to allocate pounds. Yeah, pounds. Okay, let's say you put your, let me use dollar. I'll still teach you how to insert pounds. So you put dollar, then that shows $1,000. Then the next one is 2,000. Let's say you want to put the 2,000, you put the dollar sign. And then the next one, 4,000, you put the dollar 4,000 sign. So with this, we've been able to format this salary section in such a way that anybody that sees it will identify that it is currency. It is not just numbers. Do you understand? So that is formatting now. Then we've been able to do the formatting now. Moving on. Before I move on to the next section, which is formulas, it is important for us to have all this on our screen, to have this on our Excel sheet. So you can try and put everything that I have here on your Excel sheet too. If you do, I believe you do now. I believe you do now. I believe you do now. So I'll just give you a minute. Maybe you want to take a biro, you want to take your pen, or you want to write everything I've been saying. You can just do that. You can just do that in a minute so that I can continue. Let me also take water here. All right. So I'm continuing now. The next thing is formulas. How do we enter the formula? We have the salary for Johnson Olalikon to be 1,000. We have John Michael to be for 2,000. We have Ellen Paul for 4,000. How do we continue now? We want to calculate the tax. Say for instance, the tax is 10%. They are paying tax of 10%. They are paying tax of 10%, and you want to calculate it. We'll calculate it here. But there's something that we have to do. There's something we have to do here, and that is for every calculation you want to do. For every calculation you want to do, the first thing you have to put is equals to. The equals to sign, which is this sign here, equals to. This will tell Excel.
We can't see your screen anymore, please.
Okay. Let me reshare my screen. Thank you. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. I believe you can see my screen. Yes, so now, the first thing that you do when you want to perform any mathematical calculation is you have to put in your equals to sign. This sign equals to. This equals to sign is telling Excel that, come, I want to perform a mathematical calculation. So Excel will be ready for you. Without that equals to, Excel will believe you are only imputing data. It will believe you're only putting maybe textual data or numeric data. So, for instance, now, say somebody calls you and say, can you help me add for, maybe I'm trying to salary, let's say I want to do salary increments. The boss of the work says, okay, we want to have $500 salary increment to everybody. Then you are called as the accountant to add $500 salary increment to everybody. Instead of just doing it directly, you can just say equals to 500 plus this guy. You see? Let me do that again so that you can be very sure. Let me do that again. On the salary increments, we want to add 500 to everybody in the company. You can just say equals to. Without this equals to, Excel will see it as if you are only typing in data. 500, then you put the plus sign equals to 500. You put the plus sign on your keyboard, plus. Then you take your cursor. Is either you click on what you want to add or you identify the cell. And what is the cell? E2. Don't forget, E intersection 2 plus E2. And immediately you select, you click on, you say E2, it will put it in a rectangle. That, do you mean this? And that means it has taken the value inside that E2 rectangle and it's going to add 500 to it. And you press enter on your keyboard. You see, it has changed it to 1,500. So you see the salary increment is now 1,500. And it has added the dollar sign to it because it is taking the format of the salary and adding it to the salary increment. Those are part of the built-in function. But like I said earlier, a situation whereby you have 1,000 data and you want to replicate that singular act to everybody, will you be typing one after the other? No, you prefer to go through the long process, through the shortcuts, so that makes you an expert at what you do. So how do you do that? You click on it, you click on where you have the formula, then you come under, you locate that plus, that cross sign again, then you drag it down. What you are trying to tell Excel is replicate the formula you have inside this cell, replicate it down to wherever I drag it to. So then you use the left click on your keyboard, then you drag it down. Or the shortcut is this: you identify the cross, You double click on your mouse, you double click on the then you drag it down. Immediately you drag it down, it will replicate the formula that it has inside that place to subsequent ones. Then, sorry, let me delete all this. Okay, then it will replicate it. Immediately it replicates it, then it shows that, okay, what you have there, I've done it for everything. So if you have 1,000 data, it will do it in a second instead of you to start typing, which can be the long process. So that is that is you performing addition. Now, we want to do subtraction. Now, say Johnson Olalekan now is not able to pay, maybe Johnson Olalekan is owing the company debt. Let me say debt. Then let's say Johnson Olalekan. If you notice, as I am typing on the header, it is replicating all the formats that we have. Those are part of the built-in function of Excel, that you don't have to replicate what you've done before. So say Johnson Olalekan is owing the company $200 and we want to subtract it from his salary before we pay him his new salary. Let's put this as new salary. Then we want to pay, say Johnson Olalekan is owing $200. The John Michael is owing $100. Then Ellen Paul is owing $2,000. If you want to put the formats, don't forget, you have to put the dollar. Then this guy, you have to put the dollar. This guy, you have to put the dollar, 2,000. Now, these are the debt that they are owing. But their take home, we want their take home to be, okay, deduct their debt from their salary so that we can have their take home. And at a glance, I can know what everybody is taking home. How do you go about that? You go about that by saying, okay, the salary increments, that is, don't forget the equals to salary increments, that is G2 minus H2, which is the debt that they are owing. Do you understand? They are owing the company, then they've increased their salary, but we want to deduct the amount they are owing the company from their salary increment so that we can know their take home and pay them their take home. So you take equals to G2 minus H2, then you press enter. You can see the take home is now 1,300. So, and you want to replicate it for everything. You click on it, you come to the edge here, look for the plus sign, then you drag it down to wherever you want it to be. This is the last place I want it to be. You can see you drag it down. You hold the left click, you drag it down, then you hold it. You see it has replicated that formula from the first one to the place we last dragged it down. That is how to do subtraction. You know, everything in Excel is just like speaking English the same way we are speaking. You only need to learn the logic of the way Excel speaks, then you can perform any operation with it. That is easy peasy, very simple. So Excel is not as complicated as it sounds. You can see the formula is not even as difficult as it looks. So now we've been able to do for addition, we've been able to do for subtraction, we want to do for multiplication now. Now, we want to say, okay, Mr. Johnson Olalekan is owing the company $200, but he did not pay for 2 months. All of the employees in this company did not pay for 2 months. So I want you to multiply their debt by 2 months. How do you do it? Outstanding. Let's say we have another column, outstanding. This is just a case study for the purpose of, for educational purpose alone, not real life data. So now we have outstanding. Outstanding, they have 200, and they say, for example, they are owing the company for 2 months. All of them are owing the company for 2 months, and we have it. So then outstanding debts outstanding debt. We want to have, say, this one times this one. Then we can now say, we can say equals to H2 multiply by this one by J2. So immediately I press enter, it is now $400. That means for the space of 2 months, a month is $200 that this person is owing. Then the second month is now $400. So if I drag it down, it will replicate the multiplication. Very simple, easy peasy, like we've discussed earlier for other ones too. So we've been able to do for multiplication. So now, in this whole thing now, we want to find, we've started introducing functions now. We want to find, okay, which one is the maximum, who takes the maximum amount of money home, who takes the minimum amount of money home. Excel has a built-in function called max and min. Let me write it. Max and min. What it means, just like the general English, maximum and minimum. Then it has another function, sum. Now, we want to have, say for instance, for instance, okay, let me increase the row and column so that you can get to see it very well. But if I have for 3, it will work for 10, it will work for 15. You want say female, then say cleaning, say 500, he gets $500 every month. Then say, if you want to replicate that, okay, let me say Juju, then male, say executive. Oh, let me just copy and paste this text, everything here. Let me just copy and paste everything here so that I will not have to waste our time. Okay. 1 minute. So, okay, let me just replicate everything here. 1 minute. Let me just replicate everything here. Female. All right. Okay. So now, if I want to calculate for everything to here, and I have dollar. Okay, and I want to replicate everything. Don't forget, all I just have to do is click here and drag it down. It will replicate the formula, that the salary increments which $500 was added. Then the debts, say these guys are owing $500 each, all of them, and I drag it down. So it's showing that they are owing $500. Then I say, what is their take home? That is minus 500. Their take home is minus 2, or based on 500. All of them are owing 500. So we'll subtract 500 from their increment. I drag it down. You can see it has done that. Then the outstanding debt. Let's say these guys too are owing for 2 months. So I can say, I can drag it down too. I can drag it down. So it will replicate the formula that we have. So I don't have to explain this. It's just what I've been, talking about since. So now, but in real life, you'll be presented with data that's more than this. But I'm just trying to explain to you in such a way that you don't have to have too much of data that you are facing, that it will be difficult for you to, understand. So we have the max, like I said, minimum, the sum. A situation whereby you want to know the total amount of money you are paying to your staff that they are taking on. You want to calculate the total amount of salary before increments, the total amount of salary after increments, then want to calculate the total take home and the outstanding total debt that they are owing. How do you do that? In this in this section here, you can put equals to, that is where the sum comes in. Instead of us to say G1, G2, that is this one, plus G3 plus G4, let's assume you have 1,000 data. That will be a lot. That will be quite difficult for you. So the shortcut key is just for equals to sum. You open brackets, you click on the G2, then you put column. Column means range. Column means what? Range. That means take from G2 all through to G9. Like add everything from G2 to G9. That sum everything together. Immediately you put enter. That is, let me now bold this. This is to tell me that the salary increments, the total amount of salary that we now have after the increment is $1,700. Then if I now come here, let's assume I want to add the total salary we were paying before we incremented. I put equals to, don't forget, it is always important for you to put the equals to function to tell Excel that I want to perform calculation. Equals to sum, open bracket, that is E2, take column as all through to range, all through to E9, then you close the bracket, then you press enter. You see, we were paying 173,000 before. That was what we were paying before. But after increments, we are now paying 177,000. So at a glance, you can answer a lot of questions that, previously we were paying $173,000. Now we are paying 177,000. We are treating our staffs very well. Then I can say, even our staffs are owing us. How do you calculate the total amount of money that the staffs are owing? You say equals to sum, open brackets, H2, all through to H9, then you close bracket. The total amount of money that they are owing is 4,800. Then you cannot say, okay, we are not collecting the money in such a way that it will be difficult for them. In fact, their take home is, then you do the same thing, equals to sum, without wasting much of our time, equals to sum, this guy, I2, all through to I9, then you close it, 172. That means you are only taking a little percentage of their money to cover up their debt. So I'll leave you with this to perform the total sum. Now, if you want to perform, say, okay, I want to know the total sum of each and every one of them. Say, for instance, like you want to know the total, this is the outstanding debt. You want to know the total of each employee. You want to know the total amount after the salary increments, the everything and all. The take home is 1,300. The salary increment is this. The take home is this and all. Say you want to add the previous salary with the salary increment. You want to add the salary with the salary increments. Is it equals to E2 plus E3 plus G2 plus G2. That is what you want to add. You want to add this salary plus this one. It's just a case study. I'm only teaching you how to perform calculations. So that's 2,500, 1,000 plus this, that's 2,500. So I'll leave you with the others to do too. But now, I've been able to teach you how to do sum. Now, I want to teach you how to do maximum. Then your boss comes in and tell you, okay, I need you to tell me who is earning more out of everybody here. Like in this company, I want to know the people that the person that is earning the highest amount of salary. after the salary increments, all you just have to do is say, maybe you put it in any cell. Then say in any cell, I want the answer to be here. That is why I clicked on this cell randomly. Then say equals to, don't forget, for every calculation that you want to do, you have to put equals to. It's important you keep remembering. Equals to, you say after the salary increment, this is the salary increment column section. Then you say equals to max. He wants to know the person that is earning more, the most. Max, you open bracket, you say from G to the range, that who is earning more between this person, all the people here, and this place. I say G9. Then you close the bracket. That what is the maximum number that is there? Immediately you press enter, say 6,500, and that means this is 6,500. Imagine you have over 1,000 data. Over 1,000 data will expand down, and you just want to know it without having to start writing and doing it manually. That function will do it for you, easy peasy. Let's say you now want to know the minimum. You say equals to min, that is minimum, open bracket, this place, to that's G2 to G9, then you close bracket, then you press enter. Oh, sorry, G2 to G9, then you press enter. It's telling the minimum amount for somebody earning is 1,000. Then you can easily locate those people that are earning 1,000. Do you understand? So I've been able to introduce you to the different formulas for basics that you can use. I would personally entertain questions now. If you have questions and some other things that you want to ask. It's open.
No, thank you so much, facilitator. I think you did really well, and I really enjoyed how you went step by step. But I think you moved a little bit faster towards the end, where we're looking at the summation of each one of the columns. So can you just go through that again, just in a very slow manner? Thank you.
Okay, the summation. Okay. I was too fast there. So okay, let me re-explain that section. That section is okay. We are trying to summation is, don't forget, we have the plus that I did the other time. That is taking one column, one cell, this cell, and putting this cell together. That is equals to cell E5 plus E7. Like I'm trying to add cell E5 and E7 together. Immediately I press enter, easy peasy, it will give us the summation. But a situation whereby I want to add more than 2 cells together, instead of me to start typing A1 plus B2 plus B3 plus B4 and all, there is a function that we can use, and that function is equals to sum. It's still the same thing with addition, don't forget. Open bracket, the first number that in the range that you want to add, you select it, you select the cell number, let's say it's E2, you want to add everything here together. What is the last one? That is E9. Then you put column. Column means within this range. Then that's E9. Automatically, it will put it out there. This blue line is showing that every number here, I'm adding it together. Then you close the bracket, then you press enter, it will give you the sum. So sorry, I was only trying to work with time because it's an hour session. I'm giving an hour, and I want to make sure that I cover everything I'm supposed to cover within the space of that 1 hour. Thank you. So if there's any other question, I would entertain it.
All right. I believe we are 5 minutes above time. Thank you so much, our facilitator, for today. And I would want to appreciate you once again for taking your time to explain the basics of Microsoft Excel. And for those of us who reside in Long Eaton, Nottingham, England, there will be a physical session at Long Eaton Baptist Church on 3rd of March 2026. And I would be able to have a one-on-one session with everyone who is interested. So you can come to Long Eaton Baptist Church, and it's going to be very interesting. I would ensure that I break Excel into chunks for you. We would discuss even further than what we did today because that would not be in the ample of time. We're able to do that and even talk about looking into conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel, and even now we're able to draw charts. No matter how long you want to go, I'm always around to assist. So if you are in Long Eaton, you can make it a date, March 3rd, 2026. I will be hosting a one-on-one session on Microsoft Excel and data analysis generally, and it's going to be very interesting. So I apologize, the time it might not be enough to really cover everything, but at least the basics have been shown to us. We've seen the rows and columns. We've seen application of little calculations, the addition, the subtraction, generating the minimum and maximum in a sequence, and I believe we can always build up on that. And if you have further questions, you can always send us a mail. We can organize a one-on-one tutorial because I can assure you that it's something we have pleasure doing. It's a community service. So this is a community interest company and we are doing it all for free. So if you have any questions, even after this session, just you're free to send us emails. We would respond and even find time to discuss further so you can really understand this thing better. Thank you so much for today. I really, really appreciate you joining us on this session, and you really made it awesome. And I wish us to enjoy the rest of our weekend. And goodbye, everyone.